Wayne Glanton. I was born here on South Minneapolis, 24th Street and 4th Avenue, and I lived in South Minneapolis all my life. I'm 94 years old, and I enjoy this neighborhood and the people in it.
Now, talk a little bit about South Minneapolis at that, in your early years when you were growing up. What was the community like?
Mixed. White folks lived next door to us on both sides. We were very well mixed up. We went to grade school that was mixed, really mixed. In fact, there were very few blacks in it. Then we went to junior high school the same way. And then when we come out here to Central High School, there weren't too many blacks in that either, but there were quite a few.
Did any of these faces, are these familiar people on here?
Yeah. Yeah, he was he was a dancer. That's Harry Davis. And there's the Young Brothers.
Where was the Young Brothers at?
The barbershop.
Where was that located?
Right on 38th Street, 4th Avenue.
Oh, okay.
And there's Scott, the guy that made the put out a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, these magazines, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beacon, yeah, he's the one put that up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beacon, yeah.
Okay.
And let's see. That man down there, that's mailman. Howell. That's McCoy. McGee. What the heck's her name? Woodward.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Woodward, I want to take his wife.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about Sabathani Community Center.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the early years, the discussions leading to its founding year in 1966. How did the first discussions of developing a community center, Sabathani Community Center, come about?
There was Reverend Kennedy Sting got us all together, and he wanted to talk about a community center for this area. Now, Sandy King was really interested in the youth, as he said they were deteriorating because they didn't have anything to do and there was nothing for them to do. So that's why he was trying to get something started, which he did get started. It was the Sabathani Community Center. And we all agreed with him, and we joined this exploratory committee for a community center. And the first place they did was send somebody down to United Way to see about getting some funding, and some other places to get funding for it. And I don't remember them all, but I know we went to the city council for one thing, but that was the start of it. And they did get money, and money they got, they used it wisely. Now here's a guy that started out there at the spokesman, as a reporter, got to be a United States ambassador.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Was he from Minneapolis originally?
Yeah. Oh, no. He just came over to get started.
Okay.
Couldn't get started.
Talk about the first site of the first Sabathani Community Center, where it was and how did that come to be?
Oh, we met in the basement of the Sabathani Church across the street. That's where we first met, a couple times there. Then we ended up at the house on 38th Street, where the fire barn is now. We was there for a while. And then Gladys Brooks, the altar woman, got Lund to buy us the Ark Lodge, so we had a regular place where we have meetings and stuff. Yeah, that was a building really suited for a place to start a community center.
Okay, and then from there, I understand, could you talk about the first, the house that was purchased where the meetings moved outside of the church, and actually there was a site secured which was a home then not too far away from the church?
Yeah, well that was Bear, was a plumber, and he ended up at the house, and I don't think he knew what to do with it, so he run into, I think it was Matt Little, and he donated the house for him for the for the community center. That's where they started from. And the reason they started there was we had some incidences out in the street on the corner of 38th Street and 4th Avenue. And we said K. Williams went out and disturbed them and got rid of them. He sent them on home. And that was really the big thing that started us.
Now, obviously, Sabathani was founded to kind of be helpful to the youth of the time period.
Right, yeah.
What were some of the issues that you saw with the youth at that time? We're talking maybe 1967, 68, 69. What was that time period like in South Minneapolis for
jobs. They had no jobs for the youth, and the only thing you get was some newspapers or shining shoes or some very low job until controlled data come on the scene, and they started giving out jobs and training them. Control Data was one of the first ones that started training black people for computer and work on computers. And then when they started, Control Data started, then things started changing because then people could get enough money to live off of. They were just out and out prejudice. They just didn't like blacks to excel in anything. That was all it was. Coach said, well, we got to cut the track team down because we got too many people on there. And who do you think he cut? He cut the 5 blacks that already had points to get letters, and they never got them.
Okay.
That's just one incident of how things were. And then another incident was like they had different records on the gym about it. If you broke a record, your name would go up there. And certain guys would break on records, but the names never went up. The blacks got to start playing football and basketball, and they got to be better and better. Then they started wanting them, the blacks to play. But then the blacks wouldn't play for them. They'd either go to South or some other school. And so finally, eventually, they started coming back. I never forget him, you know, he played here for the Millers. And he played here for one season, I guess. And they said he'll never come back. He said he's too good to be here. Yeah. But I remember the House of David, the baseball team. There was a bunch of clowns. But they drew, let's see, the White Sox in Chicago. There was about 500 people at a ball game. And the House of David came out there and played, and they filled the stadium up.
Now, the House of David, what was that? Was that a Negro League team?
Negro team, yeah. And Branch Rickey was there. And he says it's economics, so that's when they ingraded. Ingraded because the blacks would draw, whites wouldn't draw nothing.
Okay. Now, after the first home was secured, there was a move into another location because basically Sabathani outgrew the initial site of the home. Talk a little bit about the next site.
The next site was the Arc Lodge down 31st and 1st Avenue. And that had it had pool tables there, it had dark room for it, it had classrooms, and it had an office, and it had everything in there you could think of. It was just, but it was small, it wasn't big. And didn't have no great big large room for a large auditorium or anything like that. But it served its purpose.
Okay. And what was the support at that time for the move? Obviously, you know, the programs that was offered to the youth of the community I'm assuming there was high participation to even outgrow the location. So what kind of support did you have to secure the next location?
Well, the next location? Well, the city bought Arc Lodge. We had no choice. They condemned it and took it. And so then this insurance company on 31st, 1st Avenue and 38th Street that was for sale. So then we purchased that at a very reasonable price. I think it was $65,000 or something like that.
Okay, and so talk a little bit about that location then. After that was secured, the next location was secured out of necessity.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That location was good. That was nice. We had a big room in there for a large audience, and then we had several offices in there, and there wasn't any parking. I think that was the biggest drawback. And so then finally, Harry Davis came up with the idea of buying this hall here, this Bryant Junior High School, and which we went all through it and seen that what it had and figured that we could, it would be just perfect for us.
Okay. Now though all those moves happened probably within a 7-year time period?
Yeah, right in there somewhere, 5-7 years, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of rapid growth. What was the perception of other churches, other communities? You had the St. Paul community, Black community, the Rondo area. You had the Northside community. Was there a sense of support that you felt for this kind of growth within a short period of time?
Yeah, oh yeah, there was definitely a lot of support. And this Sabathani worked out so well that they were going to build one up north, the way a new building. But then they said, no, we don't want no crumb from the white man, so they didn't build it. Now, that one was a power horse.
Right here.
Oh, God, yes.
And what was her role?
Well, she was the food shelf and clothing shelf and the furniture, and her daughter was a state representative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she negotiated all that. She was good.
Okay.
Yeah, she was excellent.